Well, hello, and welcome to your weekly energy forecast. It is a miracle that I'm even here. I've had no internet all day, and to truth be told, I'm living this work. I realize that I have a lot of shadow work, a lot of shame in my shadows, and a lot of personal work to do on my own next up level to consciousness. And before I do the weekly reading, I just wanted to fill you in a little bit as to why I have been a little absent on, hi, Nomatamba, lovely to see you here, on what I've been feeling in this sort of shake-up of the energy right now and in the last couple of moments. And you can hear my dogs playing in the background. So this is real life, and this is me showing up real and raw to deliver on my promise to have that consistency in your weekly spiritual energy forecast that I do not only for you but for myself, to put the anchors in the ground when I really need it. Because I've been sort of feeling this sort of restlessness and a lot of high anxiety. It's like I couldn't catch my breath all the weekend, and yesterday it got pretty bad. So if you ever sort of feel yourself in that high anxiety state, side note, get yourself some amino acid called GABA called tropicin. You just look for GABA. I love the Holistics brand. If you're in South Africa, it really kind of gets you out of that sort of hyper-vigilant fight-flight state, and sometimes not even that's enough. So I up my CBD, and I've really been trying to just find out what is really rocking my boat underneath the core of all this sort of terror, and just huge discordant energies, huge discomfort coming up with my child, my growth partner, who, in all honesty, I'm not really liking very much at the moment. And we came to a head yesterday, and I'm really, really sorry, the way that I lashed out at her. But I also know that it, for me, and maybe you can relate to that, being quite Vata, life can push me, and it just gets to a breaking point. And I'm sure you can maybe relate to that. We're just like, enough is enough. And I really had to look at the truth that was right in front of me and do the best I could with what I had to try and look at how can we get to some resolution that is a win-win for everybody, because this is not working for me, none of it. Besides the power cuts and the internet issues today, I found out in my preparation, I'm going away in little under almost 10 days. I leave for America for quite a long trip, and there's a lot of preparation work that I need to do to get myself ready and prepared, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually as well, because it really, for me, is this sort of leap of faith that has me pendulating between excitement and absolute terror at the enormity of this. It just felt so aligned, so right to be embarking on this rite of passage and a new, deeper space of holding that I can show up in bigger and better ways for not just my own life and my family, but my clients and for you as well. And I just thought, okay, I better just check that my ESTA, we're on Irish passports, my daughter and I. So I thought I better just check if the ESTA documents, the visa, are still valid, or if I need to reapply. And to my absolute horror, I realized that my passport expires on the 12th of January. And I don't know if the American government will even let me leave the country to come to America, with that being out of order, and that it takes 8 weeks in South Africa to get a valid Irish passport, which means I have to hand my passport in to renew it. And I've been pretty rattled and pretty shaken this today, and not being able to actually get online to start sorting all of this out has really shaken me to my very core. And I need to get off after this and actually start to see what is possible for me. So I really called on the big guns today, for myself. And if you're kind of finding yourself in that sort of crazy, chaotic, uncontrollable place where everything seems to be going bottom up, I hope that this week's energies support you as well. So I've called on the big guns. We're actually going to use the medicine from my Lionhearted Leadership pack. It's a beautiful pack. If any of you love getting your anchors and your stakes from oracle cards, this is one of my favorite decks. And I'm going to just pull the first card as I take a deep breath into my belly and just ask, what is possible? Chiron is in full force at the moment, and yes, I know that sometimes having the information sometimes deepens our perspective and widens our view on what is available to us to support us. But just remembering Chiron is that energy of the wounded healer. And this has sort of been this common message the entire year of clean up your mess and let go of the things that are no longer supporting you. And it's something that keeps coming through very, very strongly this year. Is we're all in this eruption, this massive up level into the 5D that is coming on the 12th of December, which is on Wednesday, is the 12th. And we're in this wave of change. And the more that we resist, the more that we dig our heels in, the more that we go into tailspins like I did today. You can't make clear decisions from a place of absolute fear and terror. And I realized that I was kind of just being told by my guides, by my unseen helping spirits, that I need to just come back, ground myself, breathe into this, and ask more generative questions that can elevate this experience that at this point in time is pretty scary for me. The tickets are bought. I've made plans. I've got people that I'm going to see. There is certain programs and live workshops that I'm going to teach in January in America. And I've really had to look at what's the worst thing that can happen. What if I don't even get on the plane, and all the people that I'm going to be letting down? And I felt this huge shame come up in my shadows as to how could I be so stupid? I'm normally such an organized person. How could I not know? And I've planned this trip for months. How could I have not checked the passport? So I've really been beating myself up, and I'm actually still quite in that place of absolute disbelief that I could have been so disorganized, and not know that I need to really get my head back in the game. So yes, this Chiron energy is really asking us right now to stretch outside of the comfort zone. And boy, do I feel stretched right now. To also look at the impermanence of things, to look at the things that we have no control over, and also how to educate and inform ourselves in a good way that we can use that energy to get out of judgment, get out of anxiety, stop the head tripping, stop beating ourselves up, and look at, that everything is in constant movement. So, we can't stop things. We can't stop things from happening. There are certain things outside of our control. This was very much in my control. I should have checked that my passports were in order long time ago and actually sorted it out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. But everything in nature follows a natural feeding cycle. And yes, we can look at how can we make this situation, in this case, I got a lot of stuff going very odd and wrong. Hi, Samantha and Deidre. And maybe you can relate to that just never to lose the trust that we don't have to sacrifice. Nature doesn't sacrifice anything. Nature is always looking for ebb and flow and the space in between, to trust in that higher guidance. and look at the integrity of how do I want to live my life? Because this is not what I signed up for, the chaos and now the sort of emergency mode that I have to go into to make sure that my papers are in order so that I can leave as planned on the 18th. And I've been really asking the universe, my helping team, my spirit. So join me now as I kind of do this again with you. Is put your hand in your heart and just ask for the universe, your ancestral helping spirits, your guiding forces that are in your life, the support team that you have in your life, to give me the courage to really, really listen to where you're being called and what needs to change right now, and acknowledge that invitation. It requires a very deep, deep listening. So I've been asking, and this is a good sort of inquiry question or journaling question for you to go into this week, is to look at what is the place that I am not trusting my intuition. What is the first step that I need to take in order to honor what is? And I'll use that example of me now having to run around trying to sort my passport issues out. How I can listen more deeply and use the people, the resources that are available to me to really play my part and implement what's coming up right now. So it's very much that sort of heart chakra energy that we're needing to clear right now, and also look at what needs to shift in me in order to make this next step, whatever that is for you, or this next journey, the greatest experience, not just for me, but for everybody involved. You know, my sister's waiting, my friends are waiting, I have clients waiting for me. I'm meeting my mother. I haven't seen her since last Christmas, and I need this to work. I need to be on that plane. So what is it that you are being called into right now? And where do we need to look deeper into the shadows, go deep into the deep water, and stop treading water and hoping and a wish and a prayer that things are going to be sorted out? So I know tomorrow I'm going to have to really get my A into G and sort all of this out amongst all the other things that need sorting out. You know, I'm leaving a little kitten, I'm leaving my dogs that are very, very close to me. Rover, Daisy, stop romping, please. It's been raining, so they haven't been able to get out. All right, so I'll stop rambling. Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. Go on, go sit down. I got a kitten on my lap. So let's get to today's energy forecast, and that's Daisy. Daisy, yes. Oh, I love this. So the first card, so this is our anchor card today. And then if you can see that, it's Regis. This is the energy of Horus, which is one of the lion's god. And I did ask to pull in the big guns, and look what we've got here. I love that he has that beautiful shell, the infinity, the Trinity on his forehead. And again, this is so relevant to me, and I hope it relates to you, is that we need to be able to think clearly, to use the authority, inner authority in ourselves, but also to look to the authorities that can support us in our current challenges. And I'm certainly calling that in. So that we can really use the conscious communication. Regis for me is very much about using energy wisely. And again, note to self, where have I been careless? Where have I been undiscerning in not checking the passports out months ago when I booked this trip? Regis is really the Lion King. He's that first ray of sunlight. And again, I think when we look at the energy of the sun, it's vital to our life force. It's vital to the way that we are living our life. But as much as the sun gives us life and growth and everything else, it can also destroy when we're being unconscious, when we're not being discerning. So it really is about that first ray of sun. First ray of sun. So I'm definitely calling right now with you, invoking the energy of Horus, of the sun god, to assist and support me in in solving, coming up with a solution. Hi, Kelly and Elizabeth. Coming up with a solution, a clear plan of action that can get me out of this difficulty and the challenges that I've been facing pretty much all around in clear communication, not just with my own internal dialogue, but with the things that I know I need to resolve right now. One being priority, get my visa sorted out, get my passport sorted out so that I don't get turned away when I land on American soil. And perhaps that is a good reminder to all of us as the holidays are getting nearer and nearer, is look at what needs your attention right now. Where are you not putting what needs to be done as your first priority, and keeping those appointments with yourself. Okay, so the second card, and this is really, really interesting. Is the quality of camouflage. And that almost seems counterintuitive with Horus energy, because you know, although not really, if you think about, just because you can't see the sun behind the clouds doesn't mean that it's not still emitting life force energy. And this card for me is again to just drop in, use that Regis energy, the Horus energy to overcome obstacles, to look at where I need to surrender, to look at where we need to ask for help. And also know that maybe now is not the time to reveal all your plans and intentions. And I've been sort of sitting on sharing the intention of this big rite of passage that I'm about to embark on. And maybe you find yourself in a similar place where we have to trust in the divine timing of all things and nurture and develop those plans. Remember wolf energy, wolf medicine from last week. We're building on that whole theme again of giving ourselves time, giving ourselves permission to pause before we take that back to the tribe, or before we share it with other people, is to be very clear in the intention and the aligned action that you're going to take, and then sharing it with people that you trust will hold that space for you. So look to your inner circle. Don't share it. Don't share your plans with people that can't receive it. Don't share your plans with the naysayers, or people that don't want to see you succeed, or don't want to see you to leave. And again, so relevant to me to really trust in the guidance of the unseen realms, of my spirit helpers, my team players, my animal guides, my totems, and also use this beautiful quality, this medicine of camouflage, to make sure that you are totally lined up. If you think about how in the long grass of the savannah, how this lion here, how you can't even see her, and even my kitten, who I've started introducing to the big garden outside, how beautifully he uses his coat as camouflage to just blend into all the plants, and I have to really keep my focus on him, because he moves so quickly that I can lose him in the blink of an eye. So to look at divine timing and when it is time to do the sprint, to catch the prey, to bring it down and successfully accomplish and complete the mission. So that is the beautiful quality or medicine of camouflage. Hi, Darlene. Lovely to see you here. And if you're just joining us, you might want to go back and listen to the replay for your weekly energy forecast this week, coming from the beautiful medicine of lions, which are that activation of really clearing and cleansing and keeping the heart chakra open, keeping the defensive systems down, and also knowing right now I have been very reactive to my situation with my daughter, with what's going on with my family dynamics right now, with what's been going on with planning this trip that I'm on. And you may just want to really call in your helping spirit right now. All right, so the third card for the week. Again, I just love when you ask for divine guidance and you ask for the big guns to come out. We've pulled 2 Lion God cards today. And again, this is Aslan. This is the Christed lion, who really reminds you not to sacrifice yourself. In order to get change, we don't need to sacrifice. Be the sacrificial lamb. Nature knows this. It knows there's a time and a season for everything. It doesn't get stuck in that mucky energy of feeling like we have to be the martyr or the victim energy. And Aslan is the star lion. I mean, he's just the most beautiful lion, and he was saved from trophy hunting a couple of years ago by the Lion-Hearted Leadership Institute, from a near death, from being hunted as a trophy. And I think his message is so pure in exactly that. Keep it simple. You do not need to sacrifice your dreams, your desires, your goals. And I admit that I really needed this card today to just help to remind me that I don't have to give up, that this is a remembrance of the miracle within. We don't need to create trauma, drama, and emergency like I just did, very unconsciously, very much careless of me in my actions, and noticing that shame came out of the shadows. But now I need to get up. I need to get up and resolve that and call in. And we got 2 lion cards. So this is really about keeping your heart open. And again, another great reminder, because one of my other issues that's been going on right now is with my kitchen contractor. 2 years ago, pretty much this time of the year, I hired somebody to renovate my kitchen, and he left, stole the money, and left me with an unfinished kitchen. And I finally found somebody. And I know when I don't like doing alterations. I don't like trying to fix other people's messes. When I was in the rag trade or the furniture industry, because you're already working from a handicap. And I finally thought I'd found the one. He showed integrity. He seemed genuine and sincere. And I'm kind of also beating myself up again, going into the judgment of how could I have not seen that this was going to be another disaster. And 2 months, 3 months down the line now, I'm sitting with all the doors of my kitchen, and he's done a lot more damage in a crappy spray job, and the way that he's done some really sloppy work around the house, and now is not answering my calls. So that's been a big stressor for me too. And I think, again, Aslam really reminds us to look at, where are we not upholding our integrity? Where are we not literally, in his case, putting his money where his mouth is? I've paid him, and he's let me down week after week of empty promises. And I'm wondering, what that's all about. And the shame shadow coming up on how could I have not seen that he wasn't going to keep his promise. So call on the lion gods of Regis and Horus this week, and use the ability of divine timing, looking at when is the time for you to take the leap. When is it time to come out of camouflage, out of hiding? And let's just remove any of those invisibility shields, any cloaking devices, any way where you knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, have been hiding yourself or avoiding the things that have been in your face that you needed to take care of that you haven't. And perhaps you find yourself in a similar predicament to me now, where I'm going to have to really pull all the goods out of the box if I'm going to get myself, for my own carelessness, to resolve my current challenges. And because of the enormity of this week, I want to pull an anchor card, and I'm using my cards. This is the technology for the soul cards. I've used these before. They're from Yuda Berg, who I studied Kabbalah with. And it's a beautiful meditation deck that really holds the Aramaic codes, but also the 72 names of God. And again, how beautifully divinely timed. So I'm going to hold this up. I want you to just focus on the Aramaic there. Ayin Shin Lamed. This card is about global transformation. And again, everything is divine timing. And it never ceases to amaze me when we ask for help and we anchor the weekend like this. I hope you find the value in me showing up and sharing this with you. But the prayer or the message or the meditation from Ayin Shin Lamed is around global transformation. And this is this Chiron energy that I was talking about, where all these eruptions and these inconveniences, whether that's load shedding or no internet connection or finding out your passport has expired when you're about to embark on a trip, or you have people like contractors like I have that have screwed you over again, is to really know that we are there are forces at play right now that are creating all sorts of unforeseen circumstances, and some that we're seeing. In my case, check your passports are in order. So this is a huge wave of change, and we can use the anchor of that Aramaic, the Ayin Shin Lamed energy, and just ask. So let us just put hands on heart and reflect upon the spiritual truth of world peace that begins with the peace in our hearts, right? If there's no peace within, the world is going to reflect that back to us as a warring faction, because we are at war within. Again, this is the shadow work that is so necessary. So just gaze at that. Take a breath. And let us all reflect upon the spiritual truth of world peace by creating peace inside, creating heaven on earth, by being this bridge through an open heart. And with this name, Ayin Shin Lamed, may we all speed up our own intention, use our intuition, use our own transformational process to strengthen the forces of peace throughout the world, to create peace of mind within ourselves, to trust and respond as if it has already happened. And so it is. And so it was, and so it will always be. Ayin Shin Lamed. Aho. All right. I love you guys. Make this week count. If you're feeling unhinged, as I said, GABA is a great amino acid. Call on your support team. Call on the people that you can trust in your inner circle to hold you accountable. No sacrifices required. Use these energies wisely that are available to you from that Regis Horus energy. Don't be careless like I've been. And if there's anything I can support you with or help you with, you know where to reach me. Providing the lights and the internet stay on. Always the best way to get hold of me is give me a PM, a DM, or email me. While I travel, I will be continuing with my distance sessions for you and your animals. And because it's energy, they're just as effective and just as intuitive and direct and powerful, as if you're lying on my bed in my clinic. So I'm not abandoning you. I'll be here for you, and I'll speak to you tomorrow for Truth Bomb Tuesday. So keep your questions coming in, and I'll meet you there. Have a great week. Mwah. Bye.